Surrender is the awareness that I only have two options. I row my boat upstream and I sweat and I get nowhere. Or I recognize that the flow of the universe is in the other direction. The will of the divine is in another direction. And I align myself with that flow. Think in your life. What do you really want? What are really those moments in life in which you feel, yes, yes, like if I just had this forever, yes, this is it. There are moments of connection, divine connection, ideally, if not very, very deep connections with others through which we experience the divine. Their experience is of service, of giving, of using our bodies, our time, our abilities, our talents in a way of service. There are moments of awareness, of realization, of truth. Everything else comes and goes. It's momentary. The desire gives birth to another desire. So here's a list. And try them out. Try them out. Again, you don't have to take my word for it. See how they work for you. And they're easy to remember. They're Sanskrit words. But they're easy to remember because they all begin with S. And success begins with S. So it's kind of what I think of as a 6S solution to success. Or a 6S redefinition of success. The first is samarpan. And it means surrender. Most of us experience stress, frustration, depression, distress, anxiety, anguish when we are trying to hold on to that over which we have no control. Surrender, samarpan, is the awareness that I actually have no control over anything other than my own interpretation, reaction, response, choices. I have no control over anything that happens in the rest of the world. It's why Bhagwan Krishna tells us over and over again in different ways, let go of the attachment to the fruits of your labor. It brings nothing but misery. Surrender is not weak. People think that surrender is kind of a last resort, like you're losing anyway. You hold up the white towel, you surrender because you are losing. No. Surrender is strong. Surrender says, thy will be done. Not my will, thy will. Because thy will is what gets done anyway. I mean, if by not surrendering I could actually convince God to do my will, then we would have scope for a conversation or a debate. But we can't. God never says, oh, you don't want it to be that way. Okay. No problem. Sure, of course. Let me change that for you. God's will is what's done anyway. Surrender is the awareness that I only have two options. I row my boat upstream and I sweat and I get nowhere. Or I recognize that the flow of the universe is in the other direction. The will of the divine is in another direction. And I align myself with that flow. Number 2, Shravana, listening. But deep listening, The listening that we do in meditation, in prayer, in silence. Because it is that listening that shows us our path. It's the listening that gives us the signal, the sign to our Dharma. Like the caterpillar that gets it and it knows when to climb the tree and weave a cocoon and when to come out and be a butterfly. I know for me, I literally heard a voice when I walked through Parmarth Niketan 28 and a half years ago, a little more, that quite literally said, you must stay here. I was a scientist, not a mystic. I didn't hear voices. Nobody I knew heard voices, other than those we treated in the clinic or read about. But I listened. Shravana. We listen to the wisdom of the universe. But sadhana, the next one, is critically important because otherwise the voice of our ego, the voice of fear, the voice of indoctrination, the voice of other people's definition of success gets so loud that it starts to play like our own inner voice. And if we don't have sadhana, we cannot tease apart what is the voice of my mother, of my father, of their agenda, of the influencer I follow on social media, versus what is actually my inner voice. And then shraddha, faith. And faith is critical because without faith, we have nothing. Faith is the master key. We lose our faith because we think that the universe is a vending machine. A lot of people come and they say, I used to have faith in God, but then my loved one got sick and died. I lost my job. My house burned down. This happened, that happened, as though somehow God had promised us somewhere, come to me, and I promise you, you'll never get fired. Your loved one will never leave you. No one you love will ever get sick and die. You'll always get what you want. We're not promised that. What we're promised is, come to me, and the world will still go up and down. But you will stay anchored. You will stay grounded. You will stay in that state of bliss, of awareness, of truth. So shraddha, seva, service. Seva or karma yoga is that it's a spiritual practice. It is not volunteer work. Volunteer work is great. We should all do it anyway. But seva is not about those we are serving. It's not about the walls of the home for the battered women that I painted so that they can have a nicer house. That's beautiful. It's wonderful. By all means, do it. But seva is actually done, and you certainly can do it through painting the walls of a battered women's shelter, but it's done not about them, but about your spiritual practice. Seva is that purifies us. It is about removing the ego, which is why so frequently the seva that is given is that which feels beneath us. I'm a doctor. Why am I cleaning somebody's toilets? I'm a businessman. What do you mean sweep the floor? It is given to us to purify the mind, to purify the ego, to give us the opportunity of seeing the self in the one we are serving. Are you cooking food? It is not you, the cook, feeding the hungry. It is them agreeing on a level of Jiva Atma in this incarnation to play the role of the hungry so that you can play the role of the cook. It is a purification. And then lastly, Satsang, which means this, but it also means the company, the association you keep. When we leave these places, one of the questions that arises all the time is how to hold on to this experience. And one of the things that we realize is critical is, who do we hang out with? Who is our Sangha? Because we're energetic beings. And we pick up the energy of those around us. And so Satsang is this beautiful opportunity. We gather together in truth. But it also means, as you move through your world, who do you hang out with? Who is that Sangha you associate with? So samarpan, or surrender, Shravana, listening, Sadhana, shraddha, Seva, and Satsang. And if you take these, what I have found is that you may not get the corner office. You may not become the CEO or the president, or you might. Depends on what your Dharma is. But you will live with an experience of abundance, of success, of satisfaction, contentment, santosha, that no amount of money or house or car can give you.